So I finally got that portfolio posted online onto my own domain, and here's the URL here. I'll zoom in really close for you here. And you need to use capital letters and hyphens. You need to type it all that exactly the way it's typed there, because I don't have an index page for the domain yet. I just have uploaded that portfolio, but it's a folder, it's not a, so you have to type in the whole thing, and sorry about that, it's a lot of typing. So it's myname.ca, my-shared-life-work, in capital letters, the last part. And I'm glad about it because my work is so poorly represented on YouTube and on Google. And it's been great though for the people who stole it. It hasn't been so great for me. So here's my here's the what it should look like when you land there, and we have links here at the top. Welcome, and then we'll start with music, I guess. Music. You gotta wait for the video to load here. Just give it a second, there it is. And that was posted on YouTube on November 5th, 2019, that top one there. And the chronology goes back from 2019 all the way back to 2010. And there are 178 songs on that list. And a lot of them will sound familiar to you because they were on the radio with bands like Blue Rodeo or Nickelback or Taylor Grift playing them. And speaking of Taylor Grift, she was actually incarcerated in 2011. You know who threw her in jail? Dateline NBC incarcerated Taylor Swift in 2011. Did you know that? You know why? Because she stole my music. And at the time, they wanted to be my heroes. Actually, they wanted to completely control my life without so much as asking me for any kind of approval of what they were going to do. All behind my back. Quite a treacherous bunch. And you see, what happened was you think, well, if she was in prison, why is she so popular now? Well, who's telling you how great she is all the time? The media, right? Is anybody else in agreement with that? Or are you just impressed that the media is talking about her? Is that because the reason why the media is talking about her is actually over here in my comedy section. Here's my comedy section. And again, this would be very hard for you to see on Blogger, because they don't want you to see that I actually have 1,046 comedy scripts, and this isn't a complete list. I still have another 20 or 30 to add to this from the last couple of years. And of course, if you do read through this list, you can reach it alphabetically or chronologically from on the left here. If you read through it, I'm sure again you'll see a lot of familiar stuff that you might have seen on television shows like The Simpsons or Saturday Night Live that were actually lifted out of my blogs. And now they're all together here on my domain with my name on it. My poetry is there. Well, I'm working on another poem right now. But to answer my earlier question, why do the media like Taylor Grift, sorry. Because they helped NBC and networks to steal all of my comedy scripts and my poetry for their network. And then they ended up getting incarcerated right along with Taylor Swift. Taylor Grift, I keep forgetting. So they were cell buddies. That's why the media likes her so much, because they knew I couldn't stop her from carrying on her career you know, after 10, 20 years because of the statute of limitations. It took me too long to recover the music, so she's got it now. But she didn't write it. She just stole it. A 17-year-old girl stole the music of a 41-year-old man. And the media think it's the greatest thing that ever happened, because they stole 1,046 of my comedy scripts and 133 of my poems, some of which are 20 pages long. Just so that you get a complete picture, because I saw there's a concert coming to town, and frankly, I think if you need to go and see someone who built her career out of stealing music from a guy like me, who doesn't even want to be a star, then, you know, I actually feel sorrier for you than you might feel for me. Now, speaking of poetry, this is going to be my last video here on YouTube, hopefully for a very long time. I just wanted to show you where you could find me now. It's on my domain. I'm not going to be on YouTube. If I have anything to say, I'll do it on my domain. And there's no views, there's none of that stuff. Subscribe. I don't care about any of that. It's just my portfolio for you to look at, for you to enjoy, for you to peruse, you know, whenever you get bored. There's a lot of material there, quite a lot. I have been working on a poem the last year or so, which I intend to make a cartoon at some point. And one of the chapters, there's a section of this poem where this warehouseman, he goes off on all these rants, and each rant kind of turns into a tale, and a ranting tale where he has his way with the object of his rant, I suppose you could say. And thinking about sensitive viewers, you know, if there are any that are so sensitive that they can't even look at a picture of a dead body from World War II for like a second without, I don't know, having a heart attack or something. That seems to be the direction that YouTube is going now. And so in the spirit of YouTube and their insane censorship, I may have actually rewritten this chapter from a very old work called The Warehouseman. This chapter is called The Nail Gun. Here he's ranting, I think, about people that are too sensitive. I'm so ashamed if my stories are harrowing. May I apologize for the mistake? It might be true my discussion needs narrowing down to what won't keep your children awake. So thought the father that lived in a bungalow, far from the dangers of urban decay, where the quaint houses were set in a tidy row, and in the backyards the small ones would play. Shelter from evil was his first priority, trapped in a world given over to sin. Although his kin and his church the minority, over the heathens, with God's help they'd win. They found the image of torture unbearable, such as of prisoners nailed to the trees. Yet they adored the repose of the parable, there on the hillside, refreshed by the breeze. Down in his basement, the father worked cheerfully, making repairs with his power tool kit. He'd have a brand new expense to claim prayerfully, once his new nail gun had gone over it. Then on the eve of an extra long holiday came a malfunction the dad couldn't stand. Pointing tool inward to see what had stalled the way, finished him off with a slip of his hand. So for poetry like that, go to davidskrzykowski.ca/capital letters my-shared-life-work.